To be quite honest, I find rap music to be mindless dribble that has absolutely no meaning.
Respectfully disagree, but totally cool.
That's fine. And one of the lovely social justice warriors there was Eminem, who this dude wants to be a social justice warrior, but has a very troubled past. Grant, I mean, come on. Right?
Yeah, I mean, he's been embroiled in so many scandals of him suggesting that he wants to do lewd things to women. He has some of his songs from his earlier career are pretty graphic. He talks about things that
Understatement.
Yeah, I mean, it's bad.
Yes.
Some of his old stuff, if you go back and listen to it.
Yeah.
And so he was singing. He was part of this halftime show that was all people who were relevant 20 years ago, I guess, which is fine. I mean, it was a fine halftime show. It wasn't the best. I don't think it was the worst. It was just kind of confusing to me. And one of the more confusing parts is Eminem was doing his solo set, singing his couple of songs that he had. And then after he ends his solo set, he takes a knee for probably a good 30 seconds or so.
Classic.
And while he's taking a knee, Dr. Dre goes over to the piano and he starts playing this tribute to Tupac. And then I guess Eminem gets back up and they have their grand finale thing or whatever. And it's very weird because it came out afterwards that there were rumors he had told the NFL he was going to do a kneeling thing and they asked him not to, and he did it anyway. Those are unsubstantiated. That in the NFL is not confirmed. Oh, we told him not to do it and he didn't do this. He didn't listen to us, whatever. It's all kind of hearsay. But people are trying to make it into this huge political statement. And I've got to say, if it was a political statement from Eminem, I don't know how you guys feel. I feel like it was the worst political statement ever because I had no idea. Yeah. You weren't watching, but I had no idea what was going on. I didn't, when that happened, I didn't think oh wow, he is really taking a stand for Colin Kaepernick. I was like, is he sad that Tupac died? Is he tired?
In the moment, I thought he was emotionally overwhelmed. I thought he was I got 115 million people watching me. I'm kind of in my feels right now. The fact that, like you said, it had nothing to do even remotely with how Kaepernick, conducted his protest, making it about the flag or the anthem. It was just this random kneeling in the middle of his set. I think it totally missed what he was trying to achieve, and pretty much he just bamboozled the audience. He didn't sway anybody's mind.
I think someone made the point in The Office earlier, maybe it was you, Caleb. I think some people thought maybe it was just the end of his number, that was how he was ending his routine.
He's just getting in a fetal position.
Yeah.
From the free world.
Yeah, it's just weird. And does he think that taking a knee for 30 seconds is just going to excuse all of his troubled past?
All of the things that he's done wrong in the past, and that to my knowledge, he hasn't apologized for those things, I don't think. Or he's definitely not rescinded his music that says terrible things about women, and I'm sure there are a lot of rappers who say bad things about women in their songs, and that's, he's not alone in that. But if you're going to have a person who's not an upstanding moral character, I don't think they have a lot of ground to stand on when it comes to trying to argue for justice.
This is something I've questioned, have had questions about. I think I saw reports. Actually, I think there were pictures of Snoop Dogg smoking weed before his performance. And
at the venue?
At the venue.
Man.
And it is legal in California, but there's also
I don't think it's illegal at the venue.
Yeah. I don't think it's right to do anyways, but that's a whole nother discussion. Well, actually, it is going to be part of this discussion. And then you have Eminem with his troubled past. I don't know what some of the other performers are things that they've said or things they've said in songs.
Dre has a long history of legal nightmares himself.
Yeah, so, you have what I would call degenerate type people who have contributed to the destruction of culture. Is it good for these people to be selected as halftime show artists? I mean, really, as a culture, we see how destroyed culture has become. And so, it really concerns me when we have people like this as a halftime show. And I get the whole idea, it's a really fun throwback to 20, 30 years ago to have these artists perform. But I think there is a legit cultural question, these are maybe some problematic people. Should we have them front and center like this? I don't know. What do you think?
I think you're making a great point, which is the Super Bowl halftime show means something in the world of entertainment. This is not some podunk concert that they're giving in somebody's basement. You could argue a Super Bowl halftime show is one of the boxes you feel like you have to check on that road to being a legendary artist.
Right.
Most everybody's taken a turn. So platforming people that have got very questionable morals
Yeah.
and have had, I would say difficulty living out the things that they advocate for, I think does signal to culture more broadly that it's like, this is what we value, which is basically making money and obscenity and creativity at all costs. And I think, there are certain elements of what those people have done that's commendable. I think when we're putting them in that lofty position, there's got to be a lot of questions about what's the subliminal message we're sending. And I think the message that we were sending is, don't look at what these people do, look at what they say, which is pretty much the company line from the left and the Democrats.
Good. Yeah. Grant, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's a trend that has gone on for a while now.
Yeah.
I mean, last year, The Weeknd did the halftime show, which I actually thought was a great halftime show. But he has faced criticisms for some of his music in the past, where he talks about arguably abusing women, graphic things that, shouldn't really be talked about in music, shouldn't be being played on the radio. It's kind of disgusting that we have to listen to that kind of thing. So it's not unique to this Super Bowl, I wouldn't say. I
No,
think
not at all.
It's a phenomenon that's been going on for a while. I think that we should go back to just having, like, old people do the halftime show, like the Rolling Stones or like the Who.
Springsteen.
Those
What
two
about
halftime
Katy
shows
Perry
were
and the
great.
Dancing Sharks? You didn't like the Dancing Sharks?
I mean, it was, when the biggest controversy was like the left shark, that was better than when the biggest controversy is like, did this person like rape someone or something? I mean, I would rather it be about the left shark.
Right, or doing like a kneel protest in the middle of the most
Yeah.
widely watched television event of the year.
Exactly.